Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News, our weekly report on how religion has impacted humanity over the last 7 days. Dateline 29th of October 2022. This week's headlines. Live fire was used again as the Iranian protests swell. A huge rally in Berlin was conducted in support of the Iranian protests. Masked settlers lynched Hagar Geffen, a 70-year-old Jewish Israeli. Sir Salman Rushdie has lost sight in one eye, his agent Andrew Wylie says. The White House condemns the Kanye-fueled antisemitic freeway demonstration in Los Angeles, and Adidas cuts ties with the rapper. A shuttered cannabis church takes fight to reopen to the Californian Supreme Court. Queensland Christian school principal asked students if they knew the unmarried teacher lived with her boyfriend. The end is nigh for American Christianity. Abortion bounty hunters leave Texas to arrest evangelical Christians. Joburg Pride will go ahead as the city calls on residents not to panic over the US terror warning. Christian MAGA pastor claims Democrats secretly boil and eat school children. 3 demonstrators have been killed during clashes with Iranian security forces in the western town of Mahabad, Iran, state media has reported. The protesters reportedly targeted government buildings after attending the memorial ceremony of a man killed during unrest in the country. Security forces also reportedly opened fire at a cemetery near Khorramabad. Rights group Amnesty International says the security forces have killed 8 people since Wednesday. See this video.
فرزند نازنینم شاهد بزرگ شدنت بودم چقدر رنج چقدر سود خامنه ای قاتله حکومتش قاتله خامنه ای قاتله
On Saturday, gatherings were held in several world capitals, including Washington, where thousands have been marching. About 80,000 Iranians and their supporters have marched in Berlin, German police say, in solidarity with ongoing protests in Iran. Organizers of the Berlin rally put the number of protesters at closer to 100,000. Saturday's rally in the German capital is believed to have been the biggest so far held by the Iranian diaspora. Iranians from across Europe chanted the slogan of the protesters, "Women, Life and Liberty." See this video. Hagar Geffen, a 70-year-old Jewish Israeli who was accompanying a Palestinian farmer for the olive harvest in the occupied West Bank, was lynched by masked settlers. They attacked her with clubs until she bled, then beat her in the head with rocks. She is currently hospitalized in Jerusalem's Sha'ar Zedek Medical Center with broken ribs and a punctured lung. The settlers came from a settlement named Ma'al Amos, located next to the Palestinian village of Kisan, less than 20 kilometers south of Jerusalem. Hagar was in Kisan, along with other Palestinians and Israelis, to accompany Ibrahim, an elderly Palestinian whose land is located next to the settlement, as he harvested his olives. Author Sir Salman Rushdie has lost vision in one eye and the use of one hand following his stabbing in New York State in August, his agent Mr. Wylie says. He's lost the sight of one eye. He had 3 serious wounds in his neck. One hand is incapacitated because the nose and his arm were cut. He has about 15 more wounds in his chest, Andrew Wylie, the New York-based agent, also said. It was a brutal attack. Mr. Wylie said he could not disclose the novelist's whereabouts. Sir Salman has long faced death threats for his 1988 novel, The Satanic Verses. Some Muslims regard the book as blasphemous. The man charged over the attack, US-born Hadi Matar, 24, has pleaded not guilty to attempted murder. President Biden's administration is now the latest among US national and local leaders to condemn a group of Los Angeles demonstrators who were giving Nazi salutes on a 405 freeway overpass with several banners, including one that read, "Kanye is right about the Jews." White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, now that would be Jean-Pierre in American, on Monday said Biden ran for president to heal the soul of the nation after years of hate and division. As part of this healing, we need to call out anti-Semitism everywhere it rears its ugly head. These actions in LA are disgusting and should be condemned. Clothing giant Adidas has cut ties with rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, saying it does not tolerate anti-Semitism or any other sort of hate speech. Adidas's Yeezy brand collaboration with Mr. West was put under review after he showed a White Lives Matter t-shirt design at Paris Fashion Week. Days later, the rapper posted anti-Semitic comments on his Twitter account. His products will be pulled from sale with immediate effect, they said. Adidas does not tolerate anti-Semitism or any other sort of hate speech. Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, and they violate the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. A cannabis church in Southern California, which was shut down by the county of San Bernardino over accusations it was illegally functioning as a dispensary, is taking its fight to reopen to the state Supreme Court, arguing that it uses cannabis for religious healing. After the case was dismissed by a lower court, attorney Matthew Pappas petitioned the Californian Supreme Court on Thursday, October the 20th, on behalf of April Elizabeth Mancini, a minister of the church. Religious rights are important, and they're important to the members of that church, Pappas said. I'm not sure the California Supreme Court will make the ultimate determination. I think it might require us to go to the US Supreme Court. Jah Healing Kemetic Temple of the Divine Church, which has its primary place of worship in Big Bear, California, claims it is Christian and believes that the fragrant cane ingredient of the holy anointing oil described in Exodus 30:22 is cannabis. The principal of a Queensland religious school interrogated students about whether they knew a teacher was living with her boyfriend, amid concerns that the teacher's lifestyle went against its biblical moral standards. Guardian Australia has seen emails and other information confirming that the principal of Livingston Christian College, Stephen Wilson, launched an investigation into an allegation that the teacher had breached her contract by telling a class that she was unmarried and lived with her partner. The English teacher resigned soon after, saying she felt unable to remain at the school. The College of Ormeau on the Gold Coast, attended by 1,300 students, has a statement of faith values document which describes sexual activity outside heterosexual marriage as immorality, and it includes anti-trans provisions. Marriage is the only context in which human sexuality is to be expressed and in which sexual intimacy is to be experienced, it said. The teacher said she was aware the school had a lifestyle document for employees relating to its Christian values, but she said she was not asked about her private life when she was hired more than a year earlier, nor was she ever told that her private personal relationships would have any bearing on her employment. It looks like the USA is belatedly following the rest of the developed world in rejecting the intellectual absurdity and justification for hate that is Christianity today, if this poll is anything to go by. It was conducted by the Barna Group, which is hosted by Arizona Christian University, who, to their credit, do little to gloss over the findings, which should terrify those whose livelihood depends on people turning up to church and giving their tax-free donations. See these screenshots of the decline in Christianity and in the Hispanic community. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has made the state very hostile. People left Texas for better living conditions, especially women. Following the Supreme Court's dismissal of Roe v. Wade, Texas legalized abortion bounties once again. People who catch women getting abortions can report to state authorities for a $10,000 reward. Workers on the poverty line are pleased they can get paid more on the flexible hours through this freelance work. Defiant organizers of Joburg Pride say the annual parade will go on despite a terrorist attack warning this weekend. They say that after consulting with law enforcement officials, they decided not to cancel the 33rd edition of the Pride March. We have consulted with the various entities, and at this point, postponing Pride is hard, and proceeding with Pride is hard, and deciding whether or not to attend is a hard decision, Pride organizers said. We urge you to remember the essence of why Pride began. It was, for all intents and purposes, a protest action. We, as a continent, have a very marginalized LGBTQ plus community. We live under constant attack, and there is constant fear of being arrested in 33 of the 54 African countries. On Wednesday, the US Embassy alerted its staff and residents in South Africa about a possible terror attack in Santon this weekend. Canada and the United Kingdom also issued travel alerts to their residents. Nebraska right-wing pastor Hank Kuhneman delivered a bizarre and vicious sermon this past Sunday attacking the Democratic Party, claiming that the left is boiling children to be eaten. He says the donkey party of the non-religious affiliation, the anti-Christian movement, the anti-true God movement, has gone after the children. And you can now have some dude dressed up in a wig and they call themselves a woman and they read to your children. Hell no, not in my school and not to my kid. I don't want no pervert and I don't want no paedophile in my school reading to my kids, and I don't want their curriculum. How many kids are going to have to be boiled and eaten because you don't do anything, Pastor? You won't do anything Christian because you don't want to get involved in politics, he asked. So you think perverts are going to reform America? See this video.
Too many people are eating the donkey party's agenda. They're eating liberalism. They're eating woke. They're eating BLM. They're eating absolute that there's many genders. They're eating that traditional marriage is not the way of true marriage. Come on. And it's been the liberal donkey party that has been absolutely propagating these stupid lies that people are eating. And it's why people believe that there's no hope. Because the donkey party and a few rhinos have been behind the mess that we are in today, and I make no apologies for it. Yeah, the donkey party of the non-religious affiliation, the anti-Christian movement, the anti-true God movement. Yeah, that's what they want you to eat. There has been a siege from the donkey party, primarily who's guilty of it, that not only attacked our churches and made it dove's dung, but now they've gone after the children. You can have some dude dressed up in a wig and call themselves a woman and read to your children. Hell no, not in my school and not to my kid. I don't want no pervert and I don't want no pedophile in my school reading to my kids, and I don't want their curriculum. And what did the church do? We have no right being in politics. Really? And how many more kids are going to have to be boiled, eaten? Because you won't do anything, Pastor. You won't do anything, Christian, because you don't want to get involved in politics. So you think the perverts are going to reform America? You think the donkey and the rhinos are going to reform America? You think the media is the voice of truth and that the God's prophets are lying to the people? Look at the answer for the donkey agenda that people are eating. The state of the church has been reduced to dung. The exploiting and the attacks against our children. What's the answer? 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 1. A prophet arises.
This week's Free Thought Hour features Linda Russell. We will talk about her experience of Christianity and vegetarianism. You can join in by texting your comments and questions. It's live and it's free. And don't forget to watch Global Atheist News Review, our spin-off show where a panel of opinionated people get a chance to express their views on this very news. The GAN team will be back with our weekly news report next week. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and set the notifications. This has been Global Atheist News. Thank you for watching.